This is the brand new 2013 model KTM 350 Exc-F. Street legal, race ready, fuel injected dirt bike. Fully licensed for the street, California emissions compliant, yet still race ready. Just an amazing machine. Of course, at a very expensive price too, you pay for that. This came from our friends Sue and Wayne Johnson at Sierra Motorsports here in Grass Valley. So with this video today, I want to take you a little tour around the motorcycle and show you some of the features and functions of the systems on this 350 Exc-F. Because it is a fuel injected motorcycle, that's all new to me, and there's quite a few different things you got to consider with a modern day fuel injected dirt bike. KTM's currently making two of the street legal models, the 500 and this 350. So why choose the 350 over the 500? Well, probably like a lot of you found out that the 500s are already sold out. Here in America, we like our displacement, right? But as I get older and hopefully wiser, I don't want to slow down. I find that I can ride longer, faster on a smaller, lighter weight, lower displacement bike than I can on the big bikes. In fact, my favorite bike right now for the single track around here is the little tiny KTM 200 two-stroke. The 350 has plenty of beans for the tight technical terrain you'll find around here. Weighing in at only 241 pounds, the 350 is an extremely lightweight and nimble dual sport motorcycle. I'm 5.5 feet tall, 180 pounds. I fall right in the range for the stock chassis setup. 165 to about 187 pounds is what this chassis is set up for. But you'll notice when you hop on the thing, it's like most modern dirt bikes. It's pretty much a tippy-toe affair for a short guy like me. But once you get going, that just doesn't matter anymore. So now let's do a walkthrough of some of the various systems and features of the motorcycle. We'll start off with controls and indicators. Located on the right side of the motorcycle in front of the forks behind the headlight is your ignition switch. Just a simple on and off switch. On the right handlebar is, of course, your throttle, front brake, hydraulic front brake, dot 4 fluid with a indicator, level indicator right there. Kill switch. May explain perhaps why my battery's dead. And the starter button right here. Moving over, we got a tooth crash pad to save your single remaining tooth here. And then here's the controls and indicators. Lower right is the fuel injection warning indicator. There's a whole series of flashes and warnings that this indicator can give you that's explained in the manual what kind of a malfunction you might have if this thing is flashing. When you first start the machine, this will turn on briefly as the fuel injection primes, and then this light should go out. Here's your turn signal indicator, left and right. Here's your reserve fuel. As of course on a fuel injected motorcycle, there is no on, off, or reserve valve. There's only this low level fuel indicator light. It doesn't tell you at what point this comes on. The stock fuel tank capacity is only 2.25 gallons. 2.25 gallons is the entire fuel capacity. And then a high-low beam switch. A high and low beam indicator. Here is your, watch this first number come up there, 2205. This is your odometer, speedometer. That first number, 2205, tells you if you have the right size tire set up for the calibration of your odometer. This odometer operates with its own internal 3-volt battery. It does not use the ship's power to operate this, so you're not draining your battery to operate this trip meter. This trip meter odometer is actuated via a small magnet. This tiny magnet here on the front brake hub, as it spins past this receiver unit right here, that's what actuates the odometer. This odometer can give you features like total hours of operation of the motorcycle. There's only 1.6 hours on this one so far. Total miles on the motorcycle, a total now of 34 miles. It'll also give you trip times, trip 1 and trip 2. Trip 2 is adjustable, trip 1 is not adjustable using these up and down or plus and minus buttons here. The trip features will also give you the total running time for the trip and the average speed for the trip. Other functions of this device include a lap meter. You can get up to 10 laps on this device. You can also switch between miles an hour and kilometers per hour. Moving over to your standard clutch, .4 fluid in here. I've already put on a folding mirror because I've already managed to crack one of the stock mirrors playing in the single track. Here's your high-low beam switch, left and right turn signals with a center to cancel, and horn button. Here's your stock plastic fuel tank. It's a much thicker plastic than you may be used to for the fuel injection system, 2 1/4 gallons. Here's your fuel filler cap, which is kind of a two-handed affair. You got to push down on this lever and then rotate to open the fuel filler cap. Careful with the fuel going in there, you can splash it all over. KTM also sells a fuel filter sock that you can put right in here to initially filter out your fuel as you pour it into the tank, as it is a fuel injected dirt bike. Keeping your fuel clean is of paramount importance. Here's a good specification decal right here. It gives you some good important numbers, including your valve clearances numbers right there. Of course, you're going to be burning 91 octane Supreme fuel in this machine, Supreme unleaded. Continuing on with the fuel system, under here is where you get access to your fuel pump. Your electric fuel pump pressurizes your fuel system to 30 psi. Here's your quick disconnect fitting. When you want to remove your fuel tank, you disconnect your fuel system here. Also, your fuel filter is located inside of here. That's something else the manual talks about replacing, I believe, every 30 hours is your fuel filter. Inside your spare parts bag is some snap-on covers to cover up your fuel lines once you disconnect it to prevent dirt from entering the system if you have the fuel tank off the bike. Buried in here is your throttle body, which houses your fuel injection system, and this black knob right here is your only control that you have now on the carburetor. If you gently pull it out, there's your choke for cold starting, push in for normal, and rotate this knob to increase or decrease your idle RPM. And that's the only control you have anymore on this fuel injected machine. Actually, the manual says replace this fuel screen every 15 hours. And of course, clean your air filter every 15 hours, which is located under this snap fitting right here. Easy access, standard KTM air filter. If you pop that air filter off, you'll see inside your induction system, you'll see your airflow sensor right here. This is how the fuel injection system adjusts for density altitude. In other words, in higher altitude operations, this is where it senses that altitude and sends it to the brains of the bike and recalibrates the fuel system for your higher altitude riding. One more note on that: if you are to trailer your bike from sea level up to 8 or 9, 10,000 feet and start riding, your bike will need to recalibrate for its new altitude. So you got to give it a good 10 minutes of you can ride the bike for the first 10 minutes gently and allow the electronic fuel control to recalibrate, remap the fuel for the new altitude. It takes approximately 10 minutes and it'll do that automatically.